Speak to Tshipi Alexander, who's with ABSA. He's the ABSA Everyday Banking Head, dealing with issues around consumer issuing. Very good afternoon to you, Tshipi. Welcome to Daytime Update. How high are your expectations, your forecasts for this year's Black Friday, given that it's the first time that many people will be out physically post the COVID lockdowns?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to the viewers as well. So in terms of trends, we certainly, on Black Friday, we've been tracking the trends from literally midnight, all the way through the day. And we've seen some significant, changes in terms of trends. So we have firstly seen, increases in spend year on year. But it's important that you look at that in the context of, where we come from with COVID-19. And, the fact that it actually, took away a lot of spend, from a Black Friday perspective, because people were impacted, there were lockdowns, they were unable to travel, etc. So we've seen that now come back in 2021 and back again in 2022. So that's certainly been a significant trend. We also, as a second trend, are seeing a big move to online. Significant numbers. If I look, year on year, well over 120%, increases there as, consumers look for deep discounts. So if you look, a lot of retailers, gave some significant discounts from 12 midnight. So that's, also been quite a new trend, and a lot of customers looking for a good deal, on the day. And then finally, what we have seen that's significant is a reduction in ATM volumes as customers are getting more and more comfortable with online, also paying using cards and EFTs.
Just on what you were saying earlier about the uptick in the number of sales that we're seeing during this time, is it really growth when you consider that the comparison is one made to a depressed period of shopping, such as 2020, when we were at the very worst of the COVID-related lockdowns?
Yes, great question. It is growth. We have seen, like I said, some significant movements. Actually, just on our point of sale, for example, we've seen, increases of up to 60%, and that depends on the day itself. You also have to consider the fact that, if you look one Black Friday to the other, this one falls on a payday. Whereas previously I think it fell just before, so you had to monitor the weekend. So we are seeing growth, and what we are finding as well is, as I said, customers are looking for discounts. So despite the pressure that is there, if you look at increasing interest rates, etc., a good deal is still a good deal. A deep discount is still a good discount. So there are a lot of discerning customers who take full advantage and look for that big ticket item, or sometimes just the basics, and make sure that you get a good discount on that. So that's what we're seeing, certainly from a trend perspective.
The main question I've been seeing from the people I interact with online this year has to do with whether the bargains are really bargains. People are getting smarter. I've seen, for instance, people who kept data from around 3, 4, 5 months ago, and they're saying, hang on, this retailer is saying this is on sale and it's a Black Friday special, when in fact the item was cheaper already months ago. Do you think that'll dent then the hype and effectiveness for retailers around Black Friday going into the future?
So look, we certainly we're going to have to monitor the weekend, because Black Friday, although Friday is the big day, you do find a lot of retailers keep those discounts, and some go all the way into Cyber Monday as well. But if you look just at the trends and how consumers are responding, they are certainly seeing some value, and more value than in the past. When I spoke about, the shopping trends at 12 midnight, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, that's new. And those, that growth is new. So a lot of feedback that we're getting, and also what we're seeing in terms of industry stats, it tells the same story. That there's been some good deals out there, but also that, consumers coming out of COVID that there's a bit more that, they're able to spend, and they're looking for those good deals. So the stats certainly say there's opportunity.
So interest rates are up further as of yesterday. The cost of living has been soaring for months now, made worse, of course, by international developments as well. We're going into the festive season. Many people, even in South Africa, spend a lot around that time. Do the trends around the Black Friday weekend, as it's now become known, do those give us a clearer idea or reliable sense of which way consumer patterns will swing around December?
Thank you. So, certainly I think it's important to acknowledge that, consumers are under pressure, from that perspective. So, I wouldn't necessarily take what we're seeing from a Black Friday perspective and take it all the way through. Consumers are under pressure, and, certainly from a banking perspective, we always encourage, consumers, to make sure that, when you do spend, you spend, responsibly. Also from a banking perspective, you want to also make sure that, you're saving, you have the right levels of buffers, etc. Because, from an inflation perspective, there is, pressure on the consumer, and the recent interest rate hike as well. So we really encourage, responsible spending. And also that, customers take advantage of, what is out there. So a deep discount, like I said, and we've also been, offering our customers cash back in terms of rewards, etc., just to also support them in that experience as well.
Let me get your thoughts on something else that's out today. A lot of conversations about an international forecast that, in fact, 2023, next year, is on course to be just as bad or around as bad as things were in 2009 when there was the global financial crash. What would that mean for South Africa if it were to come to pass?
No, look, certainly, from that perspective, it would not sound like, a good outcome. And, I would certainly ensure or encourage that customers, like I say, manage, finances responsibly, ensure, that, you save, where you do find, good bargains, that you take full advantage of that. Manage your credit, responsibly. And the bank is always there, to provide support from that perspective. And we actually even, provide support to customers who find themselves, to be under pressure. So, it's I would, that would be my advice in terms of spending and the future.
Tshipi Alexander, good to speak to you. Thank you so much.